Hello and welcome back to Hacken AI's Do Your Own Research 101 crypto course, brought to you in conjunction with Third Academy. Today we are going to cover the many ways that you can check token transactions. Let's begin. Crypto company as an organism. Blockchain development happens tremendously fast. One reason for that is its usefulness in many industries like finance, art, or supply chain. Another reason crypto transactions have value behind it, and value attracts people. Third is open source code. Whenever a project fails to deliver upon its promise, there is still some code that can be left unused. This gives an edge to any developer who likes to try their skills in solving real-world problems. These aspects resemble a living, evolving organism. It finds and fits to the ecosystem, absorbs valuable resources, and creates offspring that lock in useful mutations. In previous lessons, we touched upon token generation events and how important it is to know where tokens were allocated. However, there are a number of limitations to this approach. Firstly, tokens could be generated on one contract, but then migrated to another due to the evolution of the project. Secondly, there could be a hack that moves some of the unlocked tokens. Third, tokens could be generated gradually, along with user activity, making it hard to follow. Fourth, if a project is old enough, there are a lot of token movements which obfuscate the track. And fifth, a number of tokens could be burned right after minting, increasing the percentage of tokens distributed to the participants. Still, the best way to investigate the project is to follow the money, for example, tokens. One way to do that is to follow the large transactions by going to a token tracker page and then switch to Analytics tab. There you will be able to see the days where large amounts of tokens were moved and search for those specific transactions. Follow the money. The life cycle of tokens may start with a big bang, or through a continuous minting process, such as inflation. Understanding the source of token creation is important to understand the current state of tokenomics. Whenever tokens are minted in bulk, they often go to a smart contract deployer. In this case, our job is to trace where the contract deployer sent tokens later. Breadcrumbs. In order to follow all transactions that have been done by smart contract deployer, it can be beneficial to see them in another tool. Go to www.breadcrumbs.app. Choose a type of token you would like to follow. In our case, it's UMA or ERC20 token. Enter its smart contract address and then copy the address of its deployer into the Breadcrumbs app. Here you will be able to visualize all transactions made by an address and follow the path of the UMA tokens to the current holders. At this point, our goal is to follow the token to today's top holders. Token holders and already existing labels. As you browse through the list of current token holders, you might notice that some of the addresses have already been labeled. Considering the vastness of data on blockchains and the expanding nature of crypto projects, labels make the lives of regular users much easier. However, it's done by the same regular users and is an example of how people can bring public good into the industry. Imagine how straightforward blockchain research could have been if all major token holders are labeled in the same manner. This might make things much more transparent. Principle of labeling. In the example above, there is a pattern of which addresses are labeled and which aren't. Two of the most commonly labeled types of addresses are those which belong to the team and exchanges. Usually these are the biggest token holders, and it is of utmost importance to know whom they belong to. Another set of addresses that is labeled are exploiters. Whenever a hack happens, it is a priority to identify the wallet of an attacker and label it for further monitoring. Using the Breadcrumbs app can really help. So there are labels on some addresses, but how would one find other examples of these labels? Etherscan has a page dedicated to all the labels you can find on a platform. From this page, you can find, for example, all known Alameda research wallets, so an investigator could follow the money flows. This slide gives you an idea of what categories there are that might help you in the future to label unknown wallets yourself. Making assumptions. Now armed with the ability to track big token transfers from the deployer to the current folder, as well as some of the examples from the label word cloud, you can start to make assumptions on who are the largest current token holders. What are the parameters you might take into consideration? If a large transaction has been made directly from smart contract deployers' addresses, it is reasonable to assume that the end receiver is closely related to the team, advisory board, or to early investors. Investment wallets could also be spotted by looking at other tokens which these addresses hold. If it is a diverse set of tokens, and some of them were transferred to this account directly from the deployer, most likely it is in an early stage in the investment entity. Making sense of this available data can be a tough task. Often enough, entities are using the pseudonymous nature of a blockchain to hide their involvement in specific projects, especially if they are fraudulent. There is also a problem of assuming the intent of the transaction. In many cases, it is almost impossible to do. What a researcher can do is to gather some evidence and make the assumption based on that evidence. Clues can be found in many places, not only on-chain. Sometimes it can be beneficial to paste an address you are investigating into a search engine and just see if there are any mentions of it. There is a thin line between assuming the identity of an address and making a wild guess. And by calculating as much evidence as possible, your chances of identifying an entity correctly will be greatly enhanced. Transaction parameters can be useful. Date, cumulative number of tokens. Apart from the token holders' addresses, pay close attention to the details of large transactions. Look at the dates and check if they are made at the same time as funding rounds or around a token generation event. That would decrease the number of possibilities for the label of a specific token holder. Another important factor is that transactions can be divided into smaller ones. Sometimes it is useful to look at the cluster of transactions to see the amount of tokens transferred in them is equal to the number you are familiar with, for example, from a white paper. An example of such behavior can be found in our earlier slides where we looked at Jones DAO and how they distributed team tokens. Last but not least, always check the log of the transaction. Introduction to inconsistent behavior. Differences between what's written and reality. The reason to do the research is to see if there are any red flags about a crypto project. There can be many examples of such flags. One of the most common parameters to look at is whether the team is consistent in what they are doing. To see the pattern, we need to review their white paper and then look at the token transfers. Do they resemble what is written? If there are any changes, is the team clearly communicating about what those are? If there are sudden changes in team behavior and project direction, it should immediately be noticed. An important part of any crypto project is their community. So sometimes it is beneficial to go to their Discord channel and to ask the community. Do members of the community answer your questions? Can they provide clear and direct links to back their statements about the project? Additional red flags. If there are one or two hints of token misuse, it is still not clear if the project is fraudulent. Note that the more red flags you find, the closer attention you have to pay. In addition to what we discussed above, here are some other red flags to look out for. Unverified smart contract, meaning no green check mark next to a contract lab on a token tracker page. Ownership of a token smart contract is not renounced. You can check by looking at Blockchain Explorer under the contract/read contract/owner. If there is anything else but 0 in the address, the ownership is not renounced. Read the audit report and pay attention to its results. Check if the audited code is similar to the one deployed on a blockchain. Identification of address owners. The vast majority of crypto projects do not share their addresses, but a trained eye can see the history, connect the dots, and make an educated guess. Sometimes the community of a project of choice can help out with your research. By exploring a white paper, TGE transfers of large amounts of tokens, as well as being able to trace how current holders acquired their positions, you can form a detailed picture of a money trace. Paying attention to the red flags can give you enough warning signs to suss out the intentions behind transactions. Token status. Whenever you analyze a token holder, it is useful to pay attention to the status of tokens located on a wallet or smart contract. It is where all previous lessons work together. Can tokens be moved? This can be found under the contract/read contract/vesting methods such as locked, start time, end time, and cliff length. If you see a null address among token holders, this means that tokens located on it have been burned. If tokens are continuously entering the supply through vesting, mining, farming, or staking contracts, these are vested tokens. Funds that are located on multi-sigs should be considered as unlocked. The only thing that prevents them from leaving the wallet are the signatures of the multi-sig owners. There are several ways you can reach information you need, and sometimes it is beneficial to compare the results. Stay vigilant. Tokens on other networks. And the last important thing to remember is that tokens may be located and therefore burned on several networks. If you feel like you are missing some important information, try to search for it on blockchains that are compatible with the primary network. Sometimes teams can move their treasury to blockchains with similar fees or more advanced instruments. Or a scammer can make a fake coin that mimics the original, and the only way to make the distinction is to see the origin of this token, which can be located on the other network. Thank you for watching this week's course on how to check token transactions. Remember, your success in crypto begins with informed decisions, and that starts with doing your own research. We are Hacken, and we are here to help you and the industry verify and gain trust in Web3 transactions. We are looking forward to seeing you at our next live event from the Third Academy Metaverse on November 9th at 4:30 p.m. UTC. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more valuable insights into the world of cryptocurrency. Stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead in the crypto game.